Hey everyone, Sebastian here. Welcome to Atmoseeker. Hopefully, all coming through all right. We just had a nice little hiccup there before the end where I accidentally bumped the computer. It's all self-inflicted. Oh, it's all chaotic. We just bumped it, and the cable came out, and I lost everything. But it looks like we're still coming through. Let me know in the chat if it's coming through okay. But thumbs up from old Seb here in the Atmoseeker dungeon. We are in the darkness tonight. We have some good looking terrain laid out. We've got Talismancer in the chat, Ule Ongverstein, Tim Heilig. Welcome guys. Jasper, I see Jasper in there, and I see myself in the chat as well. Good, welcome. Hey everyone. Yeah, sorry, a little bit of a shaky start there. I don't know what's going on in here. Well, that one was mostly self-inflicted. Looks like it's going all right. How you guys doing? Yeah, we're in the dungeon today. We're just kind of having, we've got a little bit of an Atmoseeker style setup here. We're going to be, well, no, Tan, welcome. Yes, hope you have the heater on. No, it's cold tonight. But I am running on some hot energy right now, where I've been furiously trying to like wire stuff together to get it ready for the stream. So I naturally have some like smart lights and stuff over here. So you notice that when the stream came on, we didn't have all the kind of like natural fanfare and stuff that comes through, but that's okay. We're trying something new tonight. We're always kind of like experimenting in here, trying all different types of tabletop experiments. If you're interested in that kind of thing, if you like tabletop gaming atmosphere, crazy lights, fog, that sort of thing, this is the place to be. Atmoseeker. I see we've got some cool subscribers in the chat. I see Devante there. Welcome. At the top of the stream, I just want to thank all my fantastic supporters on sorry, my brain just went completely blank there for a second. My fantastic supporters on Patreon, keeping me motivated and going with all this stuff. And all this entire stream was recommended in the Discord. So if you want to kind of influence what happens on the channel, being part of that community is a great place to be. You can join in a link in the description. I think there is. But I just want to say a huge thank you to all my fantastic supporters on Patreon, with a special shout out to Anthony Von Olin, Blake Darley, Charisma on Command, Chris Andrews, Constructed Chaos, Dark Fire Designs, Dr. Justin L. Hamrick, John A. Johnson, Mini Wargaming, Nathan Mack, Michael Dykes, and Devante. Thanks very much. Welcome. And yeah, looks like everything's kind of firing off on all cylinders. So this was recommended by someone in the Discord that they wanted to have a look at some how I do some of my DMX lighting setup. So we've got a little bit of a situation here that I've kind of just thrown some terrain on the board, a little bit of scatter here, but we've got more kind of like a neutral lighting at the moment. And we're going to be looking at creating some animated lighting effects with these DMX lights. Now, if you want to see kind of what I'm working with, I've got a couple of lights kind of rigged around here. We've got one up here, one up here, and one up here. Normally, I'd have these kind of like spaced out a bit more for like a room setup. So the further these lights are away from the surface, you get a bigger kind of splash area. So these are a little bit closer, so it's going to be a little bit more intense, the kind of lighting effect that we're going to have coming through here, but we should be able to kind of communicate a little bit what we've got going. So there were a few kind of requests in the chat to have a look at particular types of lighting scenes, and I thought it would be good to kind of have a look at the types of colors, how we kind of like choose colors and stuff. So I'll show a bit of how it kind of comes together on the screen as well. If you've kind of seen some of the walkthroughs on the channel, you've seen like maybe some of like the DMX walkthroughs so we're going to be using some of the QLC plus, but mostly we're just going to be looking at how to kind of create some simple lighting animations to help make a really kind of dynamic environment here. Mostly, like, I like to have animated lighting sequences, even if it's kind of static, but having just like a little bit of a pulse or something kind of just adds this kind of implied movement and liveliness to things. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at a couple of scenes. I think probably the first one, let's start off strong with something. Let's start off with the a lightning scene, I think, because because of how I've installed all the panels and stuff here, basically I have to start from scratch. But I think that's a good place to kind of work from, so you can guys see how these kind of like scenes are kind of put together. Now, actually, it's pretty easy if you kind of have an idea where to kind of go through them. Like, I work mostly as an animator during the day, so that's kind of my day job. So I have kind of this understanding of motion, I guess. Yeah, no, I like this lighting stuff too. So let's take a look. Let's get some lightning going. All right. So first things first. This is going to be an animated chaser sequence. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Oh, we've got double Seb here, triple Seb, Inception Seb going. I'm gonna share that side of the screen. All right, let's get that over there. All right, so first things, what we've got to do is we've got to set up like our base scene. So typically I would have like a wave light going. I didn't have time to set that up for tonight, but that's okay. We're going to set up a base scene, which is going to be our base color for this storm sequence. So this is going to be kind of like our resting scene when there's no like lightning flashes. I guess I should describe a bit better what we're doing. So we're basically going to set up some new functions. Now, functions are basically what you use to kind of tell the lights what they're going to do, and they're kind of split up in QLC into like scenes, which are like these presets. So basically, I'm saying this light, this light, this light, and this light. You guys be this certain color when I push this button or like trigger this scene. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all those scenes and we're going to basically pop those into something called a chaser, which is basically a playlist for those scenes. And the chaser you can tell it to do like randomly go to these scenes or go to specific scenes in a like order. And you can tell how fast it to kind of go between them as well. So that's basically what we're going to do. So let's switch over to the good camera here. Yeah, and we got this scene. I'm also trying out a new fogger tonight. It's the Ulanzi, what is it? Filmog Ace. I've got it kind of rigged up in the back there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but yeah, we got a little bit in there. Let's give it a little bit of a puff. See how that comes out. It's always good to have a little bit of fog especially if you have like dynamic lighting like this. Because even the general kind of like room haze is going to help give a little bit of body to the light. You can already see it up there. You can start to see that volume kind of start to happen. Yeah, yeah, Sebception. That's the name of the game. All right, well let's try and get a little bit of a lightning scene going here. So we're going to start with our base scene. So. If we switch to this, I'm going to see if I can slide that across so we can see both at the same time. All right, let's position this a bit better here. All right. So I'm thinking usually with a lot of night scenes that I do, or like more overcast, darker kind of scenes, lightning and darker night kind of scenes are usually kind of like purples, blues, that kind of thing. Like if you look up a lot of like concept art of different type like lightning storms and that kind of thing, you will see those kind of colors. So we're gonna kind of mix with that a bit. So I've got this is the scene I've got out of the moment. So if I hit that, that's gonna blank everything up. So we've got everything super dark at the moment. That's all right. So I'm just gonna drag up all these dimmers. So basically what I've got here on the side where I am is that's the QLC program, and this is all connected to those lights at the moment. So it's being a little buggy with me with this with that slider. I think it's because of the lights fixture I had set before. I had some kind of like override to set it to 50% on that slider. See, it's zeroing out to there. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to fight that tonight. But all right, we're gonna start just by getting a very, very dim kind of bluish, purpley scene. So this is gonna be kind of a base scene. Now, if you're kind of like running a lot of like online stuff, you can see already if I go just like straight blue with this kind of stuff, it starts to kind of blow out the sensor on a lot of that stuff. But if you just throw a little bit of white in there, let's see, yeah, if I just throw a little bit of white in there, that'll desaturate it a bit and make it a little easier for the sensor to kind of on the camera. Yeah, it's a little bit touch and go for different types of webcams and stuff. But I am using this guy, which is like a DSLR, so it should pick it up a bit better. It is auto exposing, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit, just a scooch. That is exposing way too high. Let's set that to, it's probably something like that. I think that'll do it. That's nice. All right. All right, so I'm just going to set a nice little base scene. So I've got a little bit of blue. I'm going to do a little bit of red, I think. Yeah, so we're going to have a little bit of purple, blue. So nothing like white flashing or anything like that yet. We're just getting that base scene set. So something pretty subtle. So at the moment, I've got something that's just like a flat blue. That's actually probably too high exposure there. Just gonna bring that down a little, so you guys can see it a bit properly. Yeah, I reckon that back one could be a little bit more purple there. Strange, it looks a little different on camera than it does here. I'm going to bring a little bit more red in there. Bring up that side again. Yeah, so a little bit of that. So once you have kind of like a base scene going, I actually think even that one's a bit too bright there. Yeah. So that's not gonna be, so basically once those like flashes happen, that's when you're gonna have a little bit more of that moving around light. So that's gonna be our basic one. Let's throw a little fog on there just to see how that goes. Yeah, nice. All right, so it's already getting there, I think. All right, so once we've got. So if you wanted to see kind of like what my values are, we've got a little bit of blue, white, just kind of a mix of some of that red and stuff. So it's just blues and purples. And once you have something like that, then you can just dump this into a scene. So up in the top right up here, I'm just gonna dump that into a new scene. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save it to Storm. I'm gonna set this storm base. That's yeah. See, let's see how that is. Oh, you like love seeing how the Atmoseeker logo in there. So you notice that. It's good. It's good to see. That's one of the good things about 3D printing. You can print anything. All right. So now, if I zero out the scene, that whole thing's gonna go black, except for that guy. That guy's being stubborn tonight. But yeah, if I go back to this, it's gonna be full on dark. But if I turn on that new scene that we've got, that's gonna come back on. All right, so it's kind of just now we've got that like that preset kind of saved there of that base scene. Now we can start to get a little bit crazier with some of like the lightning flashes. So usually what I like to do is I'm probably going to just set up maybe 3 more scenes, three or 4. So you don't have to go crazy with the amount of scenes that you have. So if I'm kind of juggling. This is not the usual stream setup, but we'll make do. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate this base scene that I've made. You can just clone it. And let's make it. Let's call it Storm. Just call it Storm 01. All right. All right. So this one is going to be our next scene. So I'm going to have something. Well, let's throw a flash in there. All right. So I'm going to go back to the desk here. Oh, actually, just because I've duplicated that one, we have to go to these tabs now. But it looks like it's all pre-done. So now it's a little bit different interface, which I actually kind of like this interface a bit better because it kind of it's a bit easier to follow of where the scenes are, what the color values are. So let's see, we've got left, right, and rear. I'm gonna bring this. I think probably the one this one. So right, I'm gonna bring that right one up. I'm gonna make that really nice and bright. I'm gonna drag up the white. So now we've got a little bit of flash going on there. Bring that here. So that's going to be our main flash, I reckon. Now, I'll probably just leave the others where they are for that. Okay, and then I'm gonna just duplicate that other scene. Storm 2, the double. All right, storm number 2. So now this is going to be after the flash. So it's kind of like we've had that main flash kind of happen here, and then we're gonna have it almost like it's traveling to another part of the board. So it could be kind of maybe moving towards down low. So we've got that. Let's see, we're going to use the rear light, I think. It's going to come in. So I'm going to... Whoa. All right, there we go. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then this. All right, sorry. Sorry about this. Little all over the place. All right, Storm all 2. All right, so we're going to have... So we've had that main flash happen. So now this next one, I'm going to have the rear light, which is going to be that backlight. I'm going to have that one come up. I'm just going to bring up like the blue and red. So it's going to be a little bit purple, almost like that. You had that like bright flash happen at the start. And because that light's further away in the sky, it's kind of filtering down a bit more, but still has a little bit of light to it. So I might just bring that down a bit. Oh, hello, John. Good to have you here, buddy. So now, as that kind of like we've had that initial flash, and then we've got one also from that side as well. So this one's a little bit more subtle. We could also, because I've got that right one that's quite dim over here. We can bring that one up a bit, I reckon. Maybe we can up the purpleness a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so that's our second flash. So let's see, we've got base 1, 2, and I think I don't mind that. So I think maybe we'll do one more. That's from the rear, maybe? I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking from the rear, maybe. All right, so I'm going to duplicate. What is it? Storm 1. Let's just duplicate the base, I reckon. That's what I'm going to do. Clone that guy. It's going to be our Storm 3. Okay. Storm 3. And we're going to have that flash coming from the back, which is my left light. It's nice to have descriptive names of these lights, because in my other setup around the corner, I have it as Atmoseeker 01, Atmoseeker 02. I think having the names on them, left, right, rear, kind of helps line them up a bit better. Okay, so we're gonna have that backlight come there. That's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up a bit. Might throw a little bit of green in there, maybe. Green lightning. Okay, we can go quite bright on that one. Or maybe we've got that initial flash that's quite bright. Maybe I'll bring that down. Maybe I'll bring that down just a little bit, just a scooch. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit of a subtle flash, I think. A little subtle flash. All right, what have we got? Go away. We've got Storm 1, Storm 2, Storm 3, and the base one. I think we might have one more, which is more like a distant flash, I reckon. So I'm going to duplicate the base one again. And let's make that Storm 04. Okay. Storm 04. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yeah, we're going to have, I'm probably going to make maybe that rear one. Just like a little bit of a subtle flash kind of happening in this corner, I think. Let's see what we got. So that's going to be my rear light. I'm going to bring that up a bit. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. All right, so I guess it's the right one. That's a bit better. Yeah, all right, so that's going to be just like a subtle flash. Maybe bring up a little bit of red there. So it's gonna be... I don't like that. I don't like that. No, I think that's like it's a little bit different. My point of view here. Let's go to this camera. Oh, that's not bad. Let's see. Let's see what we got. We got base 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all right. If we go from base to 4. You know what? I've changed my mind. That looks pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna get a nice like little subtle one there. All right. So we got 5 of these scenes set up. Sebception in here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the base. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those scenes. Actually, I'm gonna click save. Always good. Always good to save. Don't lose it. And then let's make a new chaser. So I'm gonna hit this guy up here. That's gonna be our new like animation. So it's gonna be our like playlist for all these scenes. So let's rename this guy to Stormy. Stormy. Let's do that. Storm. It's just like stop animation, but with lights. Yes, but you don't have to do it as many frames. That's for sure. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those scenes that we just did. I'm going to put those into this little playlist guy that we've got here. So if I hit the plus there, we're going to get all of these. I'm going to add them. All right. So now we've got all of those scenes in that list. So if I hit play, this is going to be great. Right now. So if I hit play on this, it's going to be like siege-erific, because basically it's hang on, let's see, let's bring up that scene. So what's happening now is it is just playing through all those scenes super fast. And we don't want that. We want it to be able to like hang and fade between one, but there is some settings we'll have to play around with. So let's hit stop on that. So let's see. Okay, so we've got our storm base scene, and that's probably where we're going to want this scene to kind of sit for a lot of the time. So at the moment it's set to 0, so we're going to set that to let's see, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Yeah, probably about 4 seconds. Okay, so I set that, and it set everything to this. So there's some additional settings at the bottom. It looks like, well, let's just do that. So we've got, okay, fade out step, default. So it's doing, see how we've got like step duration and stuff? We're going to do that per step, and per step. So that way I can control how long it fades between for individual scenes. So once it shows like, all right, it's going to show Storm 1, and we're going to have it come up quick and then fade out. But we could have like the Storm base scene kind of like hold for a little bit longer. So let's see if we can get that a bit. So that's what, okay, so we got, and it's going to loop at the moment, and we could make this go, and what I like to do for Storm scenes is I'm going to make the run order go random. So it's going to go up and down this list randomly, picking these scenes. So whilst it's playing that animation, you're never going to get the same thing. The lightning's never going to strike twice. You know? Okay, so Storm, so all right, Storm base. I'm going to hold that for 4 seconds. Wonderful. Okay, so, and fade in. It's milliseconds. I'm going to try and think how. I'm going to set it to 100 milliseconds for now. What's that, like? Fraction. I don't know. I'm a math queen. I know. I know the numbers. It'd probably be better if I did. I know 1,000 milliseconds is a second. That's as far as I go with the mathness. All right, so when that scene comes on, it's going to hold for 4 seconds, and it's going to fade for 100 milliseconds. All right, that's what that one's going to do. So I remember Storm 1 was our initial flash scene, so we'll want that thing to come up fast. So that we probably don't even want to fade. I'm going to leave that for 0. I'm probably want to hold that for like what? Could be 100 milliseconds too. And then it's going to fade out. We're probably going to have it like fade out a lot longer. So I'm going to set that for like flash 1. So we're going to set that to 1 second. So it's going to come up and come back down. Hey, Stux, good to have you here. Chicago recently found one question: how do you handle distance in combat without a grid? I use terrain. I use terrain for the most part. So a lot of my, let me just switch this on for this base. So if you see, we'll go, where we're gonna go, this one. So we've got like this board right here, but I do have a grid. Kind of. It's basically, I've got these, it's just the grid's a lot bigger. So what I have is these, usually I have stuff and I kind of know what the size of this stuff usually is. So these are like 8-inch squares that I have on the board. So I know kind of roughly how they move around. Personally, I'm not a fan of a grid unless it kind of like makes sense for the location. Like I'll have grids in like dungeons and stuff, but for like wilderness and stuff, I'm kind of less pedantic about that kind of thing. We'll use like spell templates and stuff to kind of like track specific things, but for the most part, we'll judge distance also based off the, what do you call it, the base on here. So usually it's, 1 movement speed, and we might kind of count that kind of distance as well. So yeah, we usually kind of use the minis and the terrain to kind of judge distances. That's usually what I use. Let's get back to this scene here. I see. Wooden skewer marked with inch marks. Yeah, I plenty of war games have their own kind of like measuring tools as well. Completely blanked on where my, there we go. Slide over. All right, how do we go on our scene? So we've got 100. You know what? I'm going to put the same thing on all of them, and then we're going to see if we're we need to do any adjustments here. Probably. We probably will. Oh, let's just do it 1 second. 1 second. 100. 1 second. All right. Let's run it through. See how she handles. It's not bad, actually. So it's kind of, that's actually not too bad. Let's see if I can get some focus going for you guys. Let's get a little smoke too. That's actually not too bad. Like and also if you added like a wave light, that would give you some like movement if there was like rain or something. Yeah. I wanted to keep this. Yeah, we wanted to see the animation from this point. So it's kind of like playing through that list. So it'll hold on that main one. Maybe we can add a little bit of variation. I'm gonna just kind of remind myself of what those scenes were. But it's not a bad starting point. Alright, so we've got Storm 1 is gonna be our main flash. Storm 2. Like a subtle fight. I think we had that one. So maybe for this. So this is my Storm 4 one, which was a. What was it? It was like a distant flash. So it's a little dimmer. So maybe I could have that fade up a little longer. But honestly, that's probably going to give you a really good starting point. So Storm 4, I'm going to just add. Maybe I can make it hold for longer on some of this stuff too. I'm going to make this 50 milliseconds. I'm going to make it hold for a little longer, maybe 300. Maybe fade out a bit longer. Okay, so I've made that one a bit longer just for like some variation. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, all right. Yeah, now we just need some lightning sound effects. But that's not a bad idea. Do you still use a strobe light for lightning? That is something I've been experimenting with, especially because I don't have a lot of strobe lights that have what do you call it? DMX function. Although these lights, they do have a strobe function. Let's see if I went into the overlay here. I actually think this works pretty well. That came together reasonably easily. Like once you kind of like have those initial scenes, you can see it kind of like playing there. So it's kind of holding, and it'll just randomly kind of like flicker around, get some of those animations going. All right. But yeah, I think some of them. Let's just stop that guy. If I go to the console, and so they got these other sliders. So if let's see, switch this across. Okay, I don't usually make use of the the what do you call it? The strobe function on some of these. I suppose you could, but I guess I can't. I am kind of like simulating a strobe kind of thing. Ooh, that that is intense. But yeah, there is a slider for strobe, which you probably, I wonder, if you threw that into like one of the scenes, would that give you a nice like little punchier flash there or something? We could try it. It's pretty seizurific here. I don't wanna. I think what we've got at the moment is kind of like nice, kind of like subtle flashes and stuff. If you've got any like players that are like epileptic and stuff, that's, you know, it's just a nice little bit of flashing. You know, you should probably just have one of those disclaimers if you're like, oh, this is a Atmoseeker themed D&D game, so epileptic epileptic warning or something. All right, yeah, let's try it. Let's try that. Let's try. Okay, so Storm Wall 1. I do see the strobe function in here. So if we add that, if we just have that as that scene, I wonder how it plays. Okay, so we're going to strobe to here. Let's see how that plays. So that's going to be our Storm 01. So once it gets there, it's gonna work well for us. Oh, it does add like a little bit of like punchiness to it, to some of the lighting. That's actually not too bad. Little, it kind of gives it like a little double punch without having to kind of like go through like, here we go. So it doesn't, you don't have to kind of like flicker through a few extra scenes. It kind of gives you a nice little double flash every now and then. It's pretty good, actually. Good suggestion. And it looks kind of random too. When you have these darker scenes, what lighting? What lighting do players have for seeing their dice or rolling or character sheets? No, that's actually a good question. It's probably like a comment that comes up a lot on videos and stuff. It's like, oh, Seb, it's so dark out there. Like, how I can't play like that. It's like, no, I actually have like lights from the ceiling, which are like these like little spotlights. So they're kind of like, they light up an area kind of like this, says in my head. So if you had like a sheet of paper or something, they kind of like aim down and kind of light the character sheets. A lot of my players probably use like iPads and stuff for like their, you know, D&D Beyond kind of thing. So that's not really an issue. But honestly, like I have so many like residual lights kind of going around. We haven't. It's always just like enough light that you can kind of pick up on like dice rolls and stuff. I think maybe behind the DM screen. I don't think I have it. I think it's just those pin spots from above. I did a tour, like a game room tour, like a few years ago. Geez, I definitely have to do like a more up to date one. But yeah, I had some of those pin spots up from above, so it would at least kind of light up the dice and stuff. I should definitely get some of those like light up dice. Those would be pretty fun. But honestly, like the amount of like lanterns and lights and stuff, there's always enough residual light. But yeah, those pin spots are quite good because they'll just illuminate that area. There are like little things you can do if you're kind of like worried about that kind of thing. Because personally, I want to go for like super like atmospheric, dramatic. So we'll go for like very dim lighting. I'll have candle lights and stuff. So I'm going for that kind of like feeling in a lot of my games. But you could like these effects will still kind of come through even if I had more lighting in this room. Let's see if I turn on this guy, right? Just like a little bit of a floodlight there, right? Just gonna set that guy to white. Right, so we've got, this is pretty well illuminated. I can see everything kind of, but you can still see some of the effect on there. So I can show you guys. We go up here, so I've got just a big flood up above. But yeah, even with some room lighting, still get that color. I think all it changes is just the intensity of it. Like, you'll get more richer colors if it's a bit of a darker room, but you can still get that effect. So yeah, definitely worth experimenting with. I think I'm also kind of benefiting from a lot of these lights being quite close to the game area. I actually had, probably in that original room tour, I had a chandelier that was hanging above the game area, and in that I had one of these DMX lights, and that was quite good because it directly kind of illuminated this area, but it was kind of themed into that as well. There are also, like, what are they? They're these thingies. I've got, yeah, I found some of these a while ago. Let's see if I can. I bought bought these ages ago with this kind of stuff in mind, but these are basically, what are they? They're like illuminating, like tracing pad kind of things, right? So you could put like paper. I don't have any paper on me at the moment, but let's see. But yeah, they're like these glow squares. You can put like a character sheet on there, and you can totally like see it and stuff. So I think they're like, I think these were cheap. I think this was like $7 or something. 7. It was on Amazon. I think this is like the 8th, but you can buy smaller ones and stuff. But I think this one can control the dimness on this thing. Nope. No, it's just it's just on and off. I think for this one, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty bright too. If you're worried about that kind of stuff. And actually, it's pretty good because it kind of localizes that kind of like lighting effect to like here. Yeah, so that's quite bright actually. Especially, yeah, you put a sheet of paper on that. That's not too bad. I don't have. Oh wait, I've got a character sheet right here. It's from my Trudvang Adventures here. There we go. I'm gonna put that on there. I guess it kind of like doesn't work too well if it's double-sided, but single-sided is not too bad. You can totally, yeah. Let's turn off that flood now. Let's see if we can get a good idea. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So now we're in a dark space. You can totally see that, read it. It's not bad. Do you think it would be possible to create this effect with the nano leaf tiles or other lighting products such as Govee or something similar? I think so. Smart lights are a little bit of a different beast. So you have to kind of really, it depends on what it is. I definitely favor some over others of the interface and programming of some of them. So usually, like with a lot of smart lights, they'll have their own type of like programs that you have to kind of like, you know, have an account, and they might have like presets for different types of like special effects and stuff that you might animate. But it's possible that you could take some of the similar kind of like what do you call it, like the similar kind of know-how from this stuff and plug it into that kind of thing. I know Govee, I've got some of their LED strips, and they had a whole bunch of like presets. I think with a lot of those like smart lights and stuff, they have their own like preset type of things that you can kind of pick and choose from. Probably in terms of like quality and lighting and stuff, like the Philips Hue probably usually a good go-to. I don't use them, a lot of them in my main room setup. This is usually what I use because this is my my, it's very kind of like one-to-one. There's no smart Wi-Fi signals or anything. It's a cable. It's in my computer. I touch the slider. It makes the light move to that. So I'm getting very direct control with these DMX lights. So that's kind of like why I like these for this. But you could totally use like smart lights and that kind of thing. But that could be a good topic for another live stream. We could have a little look if we could kind of try and get a similar effect with that kind of thing. Oh my god, we totally lost that camera. You know what? Let's move on to another scene because we have another scene requested. We still got time. So I'm gonna stop this chase right now. So the other scene that was requested it's kind of like a tavern kind of lit scene, right? So this was kind of more of your it's like just like your firelight, like it's like a campfire, kind of like if you had like a fireplace kind of. So that kind of like warm tavern innards. So let's set up. What I usually like to do is set up like a base scene. So this is going to be kind of similar to the storm kind of thing. Okay, so we're gonna make a new scene, I think. There we go. Oh, you're welcome. All right, new scene. Click. Let's see if we can get a new one going. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna call this Cosy Tavern base. Okay, we're gonna use that as our base scene, I think. I'm gonna see if we can get some colors going. So this is gonna be more of like warmer lights. So we're gonna mix with like reds, yellows, oranges, and typically with a lot of these. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna start from. That was actually not a bad idea to start from the full slider. I'm gonna delete that one actually. Start from the desk, I think. All right, we're gonna start from here, and then I'm gonna dump this to a new scene. I think that's gonna work better. So yeah, reds, oranges, and stuff. But you have to kind of get those colors by mixing these ones. So yeah, if you just took one of these, you just went like full red. You know, there's just the blood red. That's the blood moon. It's the it looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's not going to be our warming tavern kind of thing. So we're going to have to throw in a little bit of green into this. So yeah, I'm just going to move that there. So we're going to throw in some green, and that's going to mix. Start to see it start to bring it a bit more orange. If we go full all the way up there, it's going to give us like a greeny yellow. So you kind of go get in the hot zone here. So I'm going to just go to like a base kind of like subtle orange. That's going to be our starting point. And probably going to do similar for a couple of the other ones. So that one's full. I'm not going to go full red. I'm going to go a little bit more duller there. I don't want to go full red on it. I just kind of want to have. This is probably going to be our darker one. So I'm going to go there. And then last one over here. Is that going to be full red? No. No. I'm just going to make that one. Oh, it's going quite hot looking. That's going to be nice. Maybe subtle dark red to it. So we've kind of got a hot kind of area there. And then it's probably a little bit dimmer around here. So I think with this kind of like cozy tavern kind of scene, we're basically going to have that hot spot just slowly kind of like blending around this space. So that's going to be our first scene. And I'm gonna dump that to a new scene. So dump it. That's what it says. Dump. And call that Cozy Tavern 1. We'll stay with convention. We'll go 01. Was it 01? Was I using zeros? I don't know. Okay. Dump all channels. Okay, there we go. Alright, we got one scene going. Functions. So, Storm. Cozy Tavern 1. Beautiful. So we're just gonna dupe that now. Clone it. So now we've got those initial values. But instead of my hotspot being in that area, I'm going to try and make it look a little hotter in this forward area. So I'm going to bring that rear one down a bit. Okay. Sorry. Is anyone getting music, or is it just me? I feel like the music's not coming through. That's alright. I can just talk. How's that not changing? Left. Huh. How's that not changing? Cozy 1. Cozy 2. I've lost connection or something. Things not changing. Oh no, that's working. Ah, I know what's wrong. So yeah, I was trying to change stuff when I had still values in here. So I'm gonna zero this out. Zero out. Okay. So now if I go back to here, cozy 2. There we go. Now that's gonna work for me. All right. A little darker here, and then we're going to go on to the next one, which is going to be the right one. I think I'm going to make that one a bit brighter, maybe a little harder. There we go. So okay, so we've got 1, 2, and because I only have 3 lights. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I want to have some chill music going. Okay, so 1, 2, and then we're going to have the next hotspot over there. So that's still just playing around with the red and green sliders. So... nope, no, it's good. I just thought I realized something, but we're good. Alright, I'm gonna bring that one down. I'm gonna bring that to like a medium low kind of orangey. And I'm gonna bring that guy up. That's gonna be our hotspot now. That's too yellow. Bring that down a little. Okay. How's that look? All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 3 scenes, but now we're going to kind of blend from one to the other. So we're going to need to make a new chaser again. That's all right. Chaser, make a new one. Lavados, Cozy Tavern. Add those scenes. So yeah, there's a little bit of animation happening in here. Kind of trying to work out like what the light is doing in that space, but like to add a little bit of kind of like movement to it, to kind of add a little bit of dynamicism. Dynamicism. Of course. Everyone, that's the word of the day. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to set this to random at the bottom. And I think I'm actually going to like, because there's different fade-ins and stuff, I am going to just set that as common for all of them. So I'm just going to change one of them. So if let's see, fade. So maybe 2 seconds. Fade. That's how I calculate the time. Fade. And I'm gonna fade out for 2 seconds, and maybe I'll set that 2 seconds, not 2 milliseconds. 2 seconds, and then hold for 1 second. All right. So it's gonna just kind of like pulse, kind of like it's moving around, like. Let's see what we get. Hit play on this thing. It's blowing out the sensor on that camera. Let's go to over here. That's very subtle. It's probably a little too subtle, actually. Let's get a little fog going. I actually think it could be a little faster. Like, it's subtle. I'm just trying to gauge from being here if it's no, I think it's too subtle. It's going too slow. So it could go a little faster, I reckon. So I'm gonna make it. What did we have? We had one. So yeah, it's probably. Maybe we have less of a hold. Maybe we have this to 100 milliseconds. And maybe 2 seconds is too long. Maybe we set that to 1. Not 1 millisecond. 1 second. That might be better, actually. Oh, so we've got a longer fade out. It's actually not too bad. I'm going to switch back to this. You guys can see. But you see, it's kind of like a little bit of movement happening. Almost like you've got like that movement of kind of like fire. So this is kind of like a similar scene I would use for like a cozy tavern or an inn. Or if you're kind of like somewhere with like a fireplace or something. Yeah, so there's a little bit of movement. Let's see from above. That seems to work pretty well for that. It does need more fog though. I needed to have my like regular fog machine here, I reckon. Because while this is getting some nice looking fog on the board, I really want some like room haze going. Because that's going to add a little bit extra to that movement. Especially, yeah, I'm going to change this rear one to, what are we going to do? Let's hit that to there. Yeah, because now you can see kind of like that volume from above as well. Yeah, I think that movement kind of works for that. So that's the Cozy Tavern set. You could kind of have that as paired for like a fiery type location. If it was like a what do you call it? Fire realm? What's it called? Plane of fire or something, or lava-y kind of location. Shit, man! If you just throw, what do we get? We got one of these panels. We get one of these guys. I'm gonna set this to red or something. I'm gonna set this to effects mode here. So yeah, we put this. What do we do? And we're gonna have some real looking lava-y type stuff. That'd be pretty cool. That is way too bright. See, because I've got that light coming from above, I'm gonna put it there. That's where my lava pool is. Put it there. But yeah, I guess if you had like the nano leaf panels or something, that would be better. I'm just kind of just throwing it on here for effect. So if I throw some fog on here. What's the, so Tan's asking, what's the average price for a lighting setup like this? Well, so I got a bunch of these lights. What are these ones? Yeah, these guys from above, these ones. These are all from like wish.com. So I think I got a 4-pack for, I think they were about $20 each, I guess. 20, 25 each. So yeah, each of these lights probably around that mark. And so what? So we've got 3 of them here. That's math. 75, I guess, for the lights. And then you've got like the cables and stuff, which are usually pretty cheap. Like you can buy like a pack of cables, like the DMX cables, or you can get, if you wanted to stretch a bit further, you could get some of the, what do you call it? Like the wireless hub stuff, like the little wireless DMX little adapters, and you can plug those in there. I've had hit and miss with those kind of things. So I kind of just use cables because it's a little simpler. And then I guess it's whatever like mounting stands and stuff you want to use, but you could, yeah, like even in like the DMX video, you can definitely throw like these on the floor and get like just uplighting happening. But if you want to like light terrain and stuff, not too bad. And then I guess you've got the USB DMX adapter, which I think was like $20 or something. So I guess like if you wanted to kind of like grab a setup like this, you could possibly do it for what? I want to say 150 or something. Australian buckaroos. Yeah. And then I guess it's just up to, like, the good thing about the DMX fixtures is you can always add to them, and you add to the chain of like the amount of DMX fixtures you've got and stuff. So it's definitely, I guess if you compare it to something like smart lighting, right? It might be cheaper. Actually, it's an interesting thought. There is definitely like there was a huge learning curve for me, working out how to kind of get this stuff working with like a computer and stuff. It was because I didn't I didn't have Atmoseeker channel to kind of find and ask questions and stuff. I had to go into like the deep web, the dark DJ forums from like 2012 and see what they were all talking about and getting like lights to work and stuff. So no, but thankfully it's a lot easier, and we've got I think it's getting easier and easier as well, with like different adapters and stuff you can get. Like the actual DMX the computer interface I'm using right now is one that was made from a member of the community, Talismancer. Thanks very much. It works beautifully, perfectly all the time. That one is actually Wi-Fi enabled, so I can just be on a laptop and remotely control it all and stuff, which is quite good. So it doesn't have to be wired directly into the computer. But like the USB one works fine as well. It just gets a little bit, you know, I know it hit and miss depending on your PC setups, because it is a very kind of like Chinese make, which kind of means like the manuals and drivers and stuff might be hit and miss. So it depends on your setup, I guess. But that's why it's good to be part of the Atmoseeker community, because we've got all kinds of folks that are doing their own kind of setups and stuff. So, but yeah, always happy to help where I can. If you reach out in the chat or the comments and stuff, always happy to kind of lend a hand and get you on board, because this stuff, like these kind of setups, like with the weather and atmosphere, like at the flick of a button, there was a video that was showing how to kind of like set this up to be triggered with like the Stream Deck as well. So you can see I've got it down here. But yeah, so naturally I would have these kind of like fire off, so they'd change from scene to scene at the hit of a button. So it's very kind of fast and responsive. That's what I've kind of that's what I found with the DMX stuff. Yeah, the cables are hit and miss. Okay, they're like they're dependable, but then you got cables going everywhere. Hello, fellow DJs. That's right. What is it? DM DJ. That's what we need these days. So we have the DMs running the game, and then we have a DM DJ, which is, I guess that's what I would be on the side there, mixing the atmosphere, sound effects, rubbing like like the coconuts together, that kind of thing. Yeah, so DM DJ. That'd be pretty rad. Okay. Well, I think let's look at one more scene. I think let's look at how to kind of pick colors. I think that would be kind of helpful, because that's another question we get quite a bit. Where it's kind of like, all right, I want to set up this specific kind of scene, but I don't know how to kind of go about it. So what I usually do is, if you're kind of like making like a new scene and you have kind of like an idea of like, I want to have demons demons in this place, but I don't want to like fire demons or something, or like if I want to have like a haunted kind of location. What is that kind of location? Usually what I'll do is I'll just hop on Google. So let's share what we're doing. I'll hop on Google and I'll kind of just go, hey, I'm looking for some where we go, graveyard. Let's do something haunted. Graveyards. I usually go for like concept art, mostly because it's a little bit more stylized. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go haunted graveyard. That was my mistake. Haunted graveyard. There we go. We got some more dynamic. So I like to go with the concept art rather than just like photo reference kind of stuff, or film. You could use film reference, I guess, but typically with like stuff like concept art, you're gonna get like brighter, kind of more defined colors. Like this guy. This one's pretty. Oh, hang on. This guy's pretty sweet. I like this guy. Yeah, you see, we got like purples, kind of. What is that, like aqua, kind of like greenish blue kind of thing, so you can kind of get an idea of what you kind of go for. So like now I've got that kind of like frame of reference for that. I can go back to my scene. I'm gonna go back to my scene. Right, and we're still in storm mode over here. Actually, you know what? You see that? See this monitor in the background? I'm just going to open this image over there, just so we have a little point of reference. Oh, it is AI generated. I guess that's a good case for like AI. If you've got like your Mid Journey or something, you can put in like type of location you're thinking, and then it might be able to generate something interesting. I want to open this image in a new tab. Very good. Very good, sir. All right, I'm going to just drag it over here so you guys can see it in the background. All right, and I'm gonna try and match what we've got here. So I'm gonna just stop this thunderstorm for a sec here. So we've got teals, aquas, lots of like purple, maybe accented with like a little bit of yellowy stuff. All right, so I'm gonna need a new scene here. So I guess I'm gonna go with the base color, which seems to be like this purpley blue kind of area. So yeah, maybe a little bit high on the purple. Actually, you know what? Because we've got that moonlight coming from the above, it looks like that's gonna be our main like key light, and that's kind of what I have positioned up there in the top corner. So I'm gonna set that to be what is it, greeny bluey? Greeny bluey. I'm going full green there. I'm gonna show a little bit of that screen as well. Yeah, so we've got that. I'm running out of screen space here. So that's kind of, so it's just kind of like mixing colors. If you want to like desaturate it a little bit, if it's coming through a little bit too like a little bit too blue, a little bit too green and stuff, you just throw a little bit of white in there, which is what I might do actually. That's gonna be our main. That's gonna be our main like, what do you call it? Key light, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's gonna be that main moonlight coming through, and then I'm gonna throw in a little bit of that blue. That's white. That's white, Seb. Blue. Maybe got a little bit of red here. So I'm mixing a little bit of red, a little bit of blue. How's it looking? How's it looking? That's very bright. I'm gonna just drag down the ISO on this camera a bit so you can see it a bit better. Yeah, that's that. See that back key light? That is way too bright. So I'm gonna bring down that white, I think. But it definitely has that green vibe there. All right, so then. So that one's mostly blue, but with like a little bit of purple, a little bit of red in there. Now that final one. Yeah, that center one is really blowing that out. So I'm gonna see if I can bring that one down a bit. It's a bit better. That's a bit better. Just trying to get a little bit more even. I actually think we should have this one be our kind of like main purple. And then what do we do? I'm gonna bring that other one just to be more of a blue, I think. There we go. I say that's better. And maybe I'll throw a little bit of green in there. Up the hauntedness. How's that looking? It's probably a little bit bright. I probably could just bring that purple down a bit. Aim that a bit more that 22. All right, that's not too bad. I'm just wondering. If I need to change the positioning a bit more, but not too shabby. I'm thinking I might just drag down that guy a bit. Yeah. So that is kind of like taking influence from, let's see, let's pull that up. So that's taking influence from that image. And throwing it in there. It's pretty close, especially if you had like little bits of feature lighting in there. Like, let's see, if I had like this little guy. Bring that guy down. Can I just do that? Nope. It's not gonna work right. Oh, come on! I just want to sneak it in just like a little bit. No. All right, I'm gonna do it behind here. That's not too bad. So yeah, you could take inspiration from like concept art, or I think this one was like AI generated or something. And that kind of, I don't know, it kind of, yeah, can inform your color decisions here. Now we're going to throw some fog in. I feel like that's coming through quite bright. Might dial down still. Where's that? The purple one. I'm going to dial down that purple one. There we go. It's a little bit more subtle, but not too bad. You could use a soft. Oh, hey! I'm just trying to say your name. Themicky? Oh my god, Themicky. Welcome. You could use a soft lamp in the back for a moon or a bit of smoke. Oh, you know what? I've got the perfect thing. I do have the perfect thing. Hang on. Now there is a video on the channel if you ever wanted to check this out that shows how to make one of these moonlights, but I did make one of these. This one's off a thrift store find, so it's a little bit. Let's see. It's a little bit of a, what do you call it? Modified from other things. So let's get this in here. Get that brighter. Now the real challenge is going to be how do I mount this in here? Oh, beautiful. That's not too bad. Just try it. I'm going to turn this guy off. There we go. Yeah. But we do have a video on the channel that shows how to make one of these if you can't find one at a thrift store. But I believe it was like a phase. It was an old like phase moon lamp, so it had like LEDs that kind of changed for like different phases, but it didn't work, so I hollowed it out and kind of made it so you could put one of these like little panel lights in there. Yeah, we definitely need to get some like fog going here, a bit more. But yeah, if you can't find one at the thrift store or on Amazon or something, you just want to save some money, there's a video on the channel that shows how to make something like that. I've got one on the shelf. But there is a whole bunch of like cables in the way now, so I'm scared to kind of leave out of here. But yeah, very spooky, Very cool. And this is the kind of stuff that's gonna your players will go, oh, whoa. Yeah. But I like it. I like it because it's very atmospheric, especially if you've got like spooky games like this. But yes, that is all kind of like taking inspiration from that like concept art kind of thing, picking the colors so you can kind of have something very nice and dynamic there, and it's fun to kind of play with. And if you're interested in seeing more of this kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. We have live streams every week, every Monday night, for me here down under in Australia, where I sit in the dark, play around with lights. I might leave these lights up, see if we're going to like experiment a bit more. It depends how I'm going with another project around the corner there. We've got this little lab area for what I'm kind of working on in at the moment, but around the corner we've got a game room set up. I'm currently filming a new episode which is going to be pretty cool. There's some new props. If you're in the Atmoseeker community on the Patreon, we're going to have some new props dropping this week. I've just finalized some of these new Lego scale dungeon torches and stuff, so I'm super excited to kind of get those together for you guys, so you should be able to see those soon this week. Yeah, so I'm probably tomorrow or the day after, you guys should see that early access release. So those will come out with the Lego video that comes out, I don't know, later in May. What is it, April, May? I'm hoping May. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and if you want to see behind the scenes, the Patreon's a good place to go. But yeah, thanks so much for everyone that stopped by. And yeah, if you wanna see more of this kind of stuff, comment on the video. If you want to see other types of like lighting situations, or if you want to see smart lights or something, the Discord is a good place to kind of chat and stuff. So thanks to everyone that has stopped by. With a special shout out to all my fantastic patrons. You guys are amazing. Until next time, let's create and inspire. Catch you then.